It's been said quite a bit this morning, including by the Prime Minister, but we're very lucky to be in Australia where there's not much of a history of, these racially motivated, protests and violence and, which has been a part of American history for a long, long time. I think what's happening is very troubling. All of it was sparked by a counterfeit $20 note. Can you believe it? That's what sparked the murder of George Floyd and everything that's come from it. And I think in a time like this, it does show the pitfalls of having a maverick leader. Donald Trump, people are sick of normal, everyday politicians. So Donald Trump was elected and, he sought to be divisive through this. And I think we saw the pitfalls of having a maverick leader during the coronavirus health crisis as well. So sometimes when you're going through, issues of national trauma, the boring politician can do the trick.
Yes, you are right about that. We're just looking at live pictures, an aerial shot, as a matter of fact, of Philadelphia at the moment, Greg, and huge amounts of people are gathered there. They're walking together. They, as an A-side to this, they're not practicing social distancing. There is a second wave of coronavirus that is going to hit the United States for sure, I've got to say.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you'd have to say that, are they still past the first?
Yeah, that's right.
As well, I mean, more than 100,000 deaths.
Yeah.
And I would say that some of the anxiety around that would be exacerbating the tensions as well.
Yep.
But I think this the breaching of social distancing is very problematic, and you would think, unfortunately, the health crisis is going to be much, much worse than anticipated a month ago.
Just on to Donald Trump, Greg. He wants Australia to join the G7. Pretty good news for us, wouldn't you have thought?
Pretty good news for little Australia. Scott Morrison will be saying this is vindication of his decision to front run and call for an inquiry into the coronavirus pandemic. It did win Australia plaudits from many nations around the world, but it's obviously caused us some problems with China. China is not invited to be part of this expanded G7 conference. So, it does seem like, unfortunately, this is leading to, a new global system of China and liberal democracies, a bit more of a Cold War mentality, coming up. It was probably inevitable, but I think it has been fastened by the coronavirus crisis and China's handling of it.
Yep, we're still on Scott Morrison. There is another stimulus package of sorts that is on its way on the front page of the Australian the Australian this morning, Greg. So it's a multi-billion-dollar stimulus package for the construction industry. So amongst other things, it involves direct cash grants for home renovations and such things. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, the fourth stimulus package. So obviously the housing sector is saying that they could lose many jobs through this crisis. So there was always going to needed to be some government intervention. It's interesting that for the first time it is expanded not just to new home builds but to renovations. So it's been sold as keeping tradies in jobs. Labor's been on about this for a couple of weeks now. They were on about it over the weekend, and the government has come to the party. So I think that this is just another example of public money being needed to keep the economy going through the crisis.
And just finally, Greg, the front page of The Age this morning, an interesting story, really. They've got this piece on how so many people have taken out their superannuation early. As per the rules, they're allowed to do that, but a lot of them had spent the money on gambling, on alcohol and other such non-essentials, which I guess exposes a flaw.
Yeah, well, where are they gambling? Is it online gambling? They can't go to the pubs. It's not like they can go to the casino and just blow it on a big weekend. But I think another concern about this was 40%, according to the report, 40% of people that have accessed their super early had not had a reduction in income. So clearly there have been some flaws in the implementation of this, and you know, taking out $10,000 now of your superannuation may seem like a great windfall, but it leaves you, you know, far poorer in retirement.